Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. My name is Joshua and today I want to talk about no-fault divorce. The newest step in the GOP's stairway to handmaidens is being brought to the forefront by this whiny windbag's current situation. And this Rolling Stone article by Tessa Stewart talks about the GOP's sudden interest in this topic. So let's take a look at it.
Steven Crowder, the right-wing podcaster, is getting a divorce. No, this was not my choice.
Yeah, no shit.
Crowder told his online audience last week, "My then-wife decided she didn't want to be married anymore."
Gee, I wonder why that is. What, that? Oh, that was nothing. Plus, it was taken out of context. As a matter of fact, she might have been abusing him. Yeah, definitely not divorceable.
And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted.
I mean, in fairness, it is Texas. There's really not a lot that's not okay there. I mean, unless you're black, and then it's like 50-50. And also, abortions aren't okay there. And don't even think about being a member of the LGBTQ community. Oh, also, their football teams are allergic to winning.
Crowder's emphasis on the state of Texas makes it sound like the Lone Star State is an outlier.
Wait. So you mean to tell me that Steven Crowder misrepresented the prevalence of something to his audience, to which he's trying to push a carefully crafted narrative? I'm so shocked.
But all 50 states and the District of Columbia have no-fault divorce laws on the books.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but personally, I think that all 50 states and the District of Columbia should have a law on the books that states that if you put the milk in the bowl before the cereal, jail.
Laws that allow either party to walk away from an unhappy marriage without having to prove abuse, infidelity, or other misconduct in court.
And if the comment section of my last video is any indication, those laws are a very good thing to have in place.
It was a hard-fought journey to get there. It took more than 4 decades to end fault-based divorce in America.
I mean, it is America. We do love 3 things: football, guns, and controlling women.
California was the first state to eliminate it in 1969.
Nice.
New York didn't come around until 2010.
Oh, New York, what the fuck took you so long, eh?
And there are caveats. Mississippi and South Dakota still only allow no-fault divorce if both parties agree to dissolve the marriage, for example.
Okay, I'm not saying it's a great caveat, but it being Mississippi and South Dakota, I was expecting much worse.
Researchers who tracked the emergence of no-fault divorce laws state by state over that period found that reform led to dramatic drops in the rates of female suicide and domestic violence, as well as decreases in spousal homicide of women.
So you mean to tell me that a law allowing women to leave an unhappy, possibly abusive relationship without having to prove abuse or infidelity in this patriarchal society where a moron can see the Ray Rice video and still need to know the whole story was a good thing for the health and safety of women?
The decreases, one researcher explained, were not just because abused women and men could more easily divorce their abusers, but also because potential abusers knew that they were more likely to be left.
You ever see those guys who only see the headline of "spouse of famous person gets half of estate in divorce," then vomit out something like, "You see, this is why I don't even believe in marriage. Women just want to use divorce to take half my shit." Well, chances are those are the kind of people that maybe don't exhibit great behavior towards their partners. Look, divorces happen. The amount that happen just to take half your shit is incredibly low. Now that number rises if you are, say, an abusive shitbag or a serial cheater.
Today, more than 2/3 of all heterosexual divorces in the U.S. are initiated by women.
Now, there's a secret behind this stat. A lot of men treat women like shit. I know, but you didn't hear that from me.
Republicans across the country are now reconsidering no-fault divorce.
What? You're telling me that Republicans want to strip a law that allows women to get out of unhappy, possibly abusive relationships? Nah, I don't believe it. You're fake news.
There isn't a huge mystery behind the campaign.
Oh, yeah, it's right here. Misogyny? Misogyny. Huh. Never heard of it.
Like the crusades against abortion and contraception making it more difficult to leave an unhappy marriage is about control.
Oh, misogyny. Now I get it.
Crowder's home state could be the first to eliminate it if the Texas GOP gets its way.
Something tells me that it might. Just a hunch.
Last year, the Republican Party of Texas added language to its platform calling for an end to no-fault divorce.
I bet this is going to be some bullshit.
We urge the legislature to rescind unilateral no-fault divorce laws to support covenant marriage.
Covenant marriage, by the way, seems like a horrible situation to be in, because if you are in an abusive marriage or a marriage where your spouse is cheated, you have to convince a counselor in this lovely patriarchal hellscape that we live in that you are worthy of a divorce. It's basically marriage by theocratic design. What? Your husband beats you and the children every day? Well, I mean, he's a hard worker and provider. Have you been performing your wifely duties? The dinner was cold. Well, it seems to me that in the eyes of the Lord, you haven't been fulfilling your marriage vows. Now, go back home and try and be a better wife, and maybe he'll stop giving you and the little one sweet chin music on the daily.
And to pass legislation extending the period of time in which a divorce may occur to 6 months after the date of filing for divorce.
So even if a party is allowed to file for divorce, the Republicans want to extend that time the divorce is allowed to up to 6 months. Now, I don't know about you, but 6 months is a long time to be in an abusive relationship with someone who knows you want to leave them. How do you think the abusers are going to take that news? I'm guessing not very well. The next part of the article is about how the Texas GOP has basically control of everything in the state legislature and almost a clean sweep in local elected offices across the state. Which reminds me to hammer home the point, and I know it's boring, I know it's convoluted, but local elections are important. It's not sexy, but those elections are insanely important and are how a lot of this bigoted bullshit gets pushed through. School boards, city councils, etc. are all worth your time and attention. An overhaul of no-fault divorce is also being worked on in Nebraska and Louisiana, with the former being of the mind that only couples without children should have access to no-fault divorce. At the 2016 RNC, delegates considered adding language to these proposals that
children are made to be loved by both natural parents united in marriage. Legal structures such as no-fault divorce, which divides families and empowers the state, should be replaced by a fault-based divorce.
So basically, if you're getting beaten every day and cheated on constantly, well, get over it, because the Lord says children need two parents.
Despite its deeply embarrassing premise that the only way to retain a partner is to literally trap them in the relationship, right-wing blowhards like Crowder have been embracing arguments against no-fault divorce with increasing frequency. Within the past year, conservative pundits Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, and Tim Pool have all criticized it.
Wow. All those guys are big proponents of getting rid of no-fault divorce? Gee, I wonder what qualities they all exhibit and share that makes this such an important topic to them.
Crowder first complained about no-fault divorce in a segment last April when his divorce proceedings were already underway. There need to be changes to marital laws, and I'm not even talking about same-sex marriage. I'm talking about divorce laws, talking about alimony laws, talking about child support laws.
Yeah, I don't want to be held accountable for being a shitty person and a shitty partner. We need to change the laws.
Incidentally, Crowder's position may have actually been worse if Texas still had fault-based divorce. Days after he announced he and his wife had separated last week, a 2021 video emerged of the podcaster berating his wife, 8 months pregnant at the time with the couple's twins, for her failure to do wifely things. It's the kind of hard evidence that one could offer in court to bolster her case that her partner was the one at fault, and in the past, that may have impacted the division of the assets.
But Crowder's Chud Army came into the comments of my last video and said that video was nothing and blown out of proportion. They couldn't have been wrong. Could they?
Unnervingly, it wouldn't necessarily take a vote of the legislature to end no-fault divorce in Texas. With the right argument, a motivated plaintiff could bring the case before a sympathetic judge, and there happens to be one sitting on the federal bench in Amarillo who has expressed such ideas.
And this is the GOP playbook right here. Pack the courts and legislatures and councils at the city and state level and slowly start shifting the legislative landscape in their favor by outright changing legislation or just obstructing Democrats from getting anything done.
Judge Matthew Kaczmarek,
seen here with a haircut that can only be described as the thin blue line special,
who has issued rulings attacking access to birth control and mifepristone, a critical component of the abortion pill, repeatedly bemoaned the idea that the sexual revolution, ushered in a world of permissive contraception policies, abortion, and no fault divorce.
Look, the GOP is going to push this rolling back of no fault divorce and disguise it as a way to save the union of a man and woman in holy matrimony from ending in divorce. They're going to lie and say that they sympathize with the victims of abuse, but insist that divorce is the easy way out. They're going to hide behind their religion and bullshit traditional values, but all this is a way to control women. Because deep down, they know without control, most of them, deservedly so, would be alone for a very long time.